Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm truly honored to stand here and share not just my story, but my heart. You came here for motivation, and I want to give you something real. Not sugar-coated, not dressed up in fame or fortune, but something that can live inside you and move you long after I stop speaking. I want to talk to you about truth. I want to talk about fear, about the mask we wear, about how we all perform in some way, some literally on a stage, others in the stage of life. We pretend to be someone we think the world will accept. But let me start with this. The greatest journey you'll ever take is the one where you stop pretending and start being you. People know me as a funny man, a rubber-faced comedian, the guy from Ace Ventura or The Mask or Bruce Almighty. And yes, I did all that. I danced, I talked with my butt, I became a cartoon come to life. But none of those things were who I am. They were parts I played. They were masks I wore. And sometimes the mask gets so comfortable, we forget we're wearing one. For a long time, I thought being funny was the only way to matter. I believed that if I could make people laugh, they wouldn't see the sadness in my eyes, that they'd love the character, and maybe, just maybe, that love would spill over to the person behind it. I grew up in Canada, not in Hollywood, not in the limelight. I came from poverty. My dad was a musician, a brilliant one, but he took a safe job as an accountant to support the family. And one day he lost that safe job. That moment stuck with me because I realized you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on what you do want. Let me repeat that. You can fail at what you don't want. So take a chance on what you love. It sounds so simple, but it's terrifying, isn't it? Because the world teaches us to be practical, to be reasonable, to stay inside the lines because that's where it's safe. But what's the cost of that safety? How many people do you know living lives of quiet desperation? How many dreams are buried in office cubicles? How many hearts are silenced by fear? Fear is a sneaky little monster. It wears different disguises. It says, be careful. It says, what if you're not good enough? It whispers, what if they laugh at you? Fear doesn't come in with a sword. It comes in with logic. It tells you not to try, not to dream, not to step forward. And fear is a liar. But love is truth. Love is freedom. Love says, go anyway. Love says, you are more than enough. Love says, risk it all, because that's where life is. And I'll tell you this, when you live from a place of love, when you pursue your dream not for applause but from joy, then you're unstoppable. After my father lost his job, we lived in a van. We cleaned buildings together at night to make ends meet. I was 15, scrubbing toilets in a factory. That's where I learned humility. That's where I saw what sacrifice looked like. My dad never complained. He never said, why me? He smiled. He joked. He made me laugh. And that's when I realized laughter is a light, a real, honest, powerful light. It can pierce through anything, even pain. But you know what? Pain will find you. No matter how much you run, no matter how funny you are, no matter how big the house or the bank account or the fame, you can't outrun yourself. I tried. Trust me, I tried. I thought success would fix me. I thought being rich and adored would finally make the ache go away. But let me tell you something important. Success doesn't change you. It reveals you. It magnifies what's already there. If you're insecure, you'll just become more insecure. If you're bitter, you'll just become bitter with more expensive problems. If you're full of love, though, that love will overflow. And if you're searching for yourself, success won't give you the answer. It'll just make the question louder. I had all the attention in the world. People would scream my name. And yet, when I was alone, I felt invisible. I was in depression, deep, soul-sucking depression. Not the kind you can joke your way out of. Not the kind you can medicate with a red carpet or a golden statue. I was lost, and I had to ask myself, who am I really? That's when I started looking beyond the surface. I began to study philosophy, spirituality, consciousness. I began to meditate. I went into silence, into stillness, and I discovered something that changed everything. I am not the character I play. I am not the mask. I am the awareness behind it. I am the observer. I am the light behind the curtain. And so are you. You are not your job. You are not your failures. You are not the story others wrote about you. You are the author. You have the pen, and the ink never runs out. We live in a world that tells us we need to be something. We need to achieve, acquire, accumulate. That if we're not doing something important, we're not valuable. But I'm here to tell you, you are enough, right now, as you are. E. Even if you never win an Oscar, or go viral, or build an empire, you are enough. The greatest prison is the one we build in our minds. We lock ourselves in with doubt and throw away the key. But you don't need permission to live fully. You don't need validation to be worthy. You don't need a million likes to be loved. Stop waiting. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for someone to believe in you. Don't wait for the fear to disappear. The fear won't disappear. You just have to move through it. Action kills fear. Every time you take a step, the fear gets smaller. Every time you speak your truth, the lie loses power. Every time you show up, raw, real, imperfect, you become more powerful. You're not here to play small. You're here to create, to shine, to inspire. Not by being perfect, but by being honest. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's the strongest thing you can offer. Because when you show up as your whole self, you give others permission to do the same. I once wrote myself a check for $10 million, dated it for Thanksgiving, a few years in the future. I carried it in my wallet. Every day I looked at it. I didn't know how it would happen, but I believed it would. And just before that date came, I got a movie deal that paid me exactly that amount. Now, I'm not saying to write a check and wait for the universe to deliver. What I'm saying is, believe, act as if, align yourself with your dream, move in the direction of your joy. Don't just wish for it, prepare for it. Life is not a straight line. It's messy, it's wild, it's full of twists and turns and surprises. But that's what makes it beautiful. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to show up. And when you fall, and you will fall forward. Learn, grow, get back up. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be real, and real is messy and glorious and worth it. So today, I'm not giving you a formula. I'm not offering you a secret shortcut. I'm giving you permission. Permission to stop pretending, permission to laugh loudly, to cry openly, to try again, to say no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what sets you on fire. You have greatness inside you, not because you're better than anyone else, but because you are unique. There's never been another you, and there never will be. Don't rob the world of your gift. Don't hide your voice. Don't wait for someday. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your life. Now let's talk about the noise. There is so much noise out there. Social media, opinions, comparisons, highlight reels. Every day you wake up and the world starts screaming at you, telling you who you should be, what success looks like, what beauty looks like, how fast you should be moving, how many followers you should have, what your body should look like, and what your value is worth. But you know what the world doesn't tell you? That none of that noise means a thing if you're not at peace with yourself. Because peace is not found on a screen. Peace isn't found in a title. Peace isn't a thing you can buy. It's something you build, moment by moment, choice by choice. Every single morning you wake up, you're faced with a decision. Will I live my truth today? Will I listen to my inner voice or the noise of the crowd? The inner voice, it's quiet. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It nudges. It gently reminds you of who you really are. But if you don't make space for it, if you don't create stillness, you'll miss it. And the tragedy is, many people do. They live their entire lives playing roles other people cast for them, never once asking, is this the story I want to be in? I want to give you something practical here. Solitude is power. I'm not talking about isolation. I'm talking about intentional stillness. I'm talking about carving out space to be alone with yourself. No phones, no distractions, just you and the truth. Some of the most important realizations I've ever had came in those moments of stillness. It's where I realized that I didn't need to be anything for anyone. It's where I began to see myself as more than a performer, more than an image. It's where I learned to be okay with just being. Because the greatest freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. It's the ability to be fully yourself without apology. Now let's talk about failure. We're taught to fear failure like it's some monster under the bed. But I've failed. Publicly. Spectacularly. I've bombed auditions. I've been rejected. I've made movies that flopped. I've made choices that people didn't understand. And you know what I learned? Failure is just feedback. It's not a statement about your worth. It's a teacher. Every no I ever heard just redirected me to a better yes. Every door that slammed in my face forced me to find a different path. And those paths led to my greatest breakthroughs. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning of deeper learning. I'm not afraid of failure anymore. What I fear more is regret. The kind of regret that comes from not trying. The kind that whispers at night, what if you had spoken up? What if you had chased that dream? What if you had let yourself be seen? That's the kind of fear that buries people long before they die. Don't let that happen to you. There's a story I love. It's about a man who dies and meets his maker. And his maker doesn't ask, why weren't you more like Moses? Why weren't you more like Einstein? No, he asks, why weren't you more like you? That's the question you'll have to answer one day. Did you show up as yourself? Did you live your truth? Did you love boldly? Did you create fearlessly? Did you dance even when no one clapped? We're not here to mimic. We're here to create. We're here to add something to the world that wasn't there before. That might be a painting, a song, a conversation, a kind word, a life well lived. You don't have to be famous to be great. You don't have to be rich to be impactful. You just have to be awake. Awake to your own power, your own capacity to love, to give, to uplift. That's what this world needs. Not more celebrities, but more authenticity. More people willing to walk in truth. More people willing to say, this is me, and I'm enough. And I know some of you are carrying pain, deep, old wounds. I know some of you feel invisible. You've been told you don't matter. You've been overlooked, underestimated, written off. Maybe even by the people who were supposed to believe in you the most. But I want you to hear this. You were never a mistake. You were never too much or not enough. You were born worthy. The fact that you're here, breathing, listening, means you have a purpose. And your job is not to find it, it's to remember it. Deep down, you already know. You've always known. That flicker inside your chest. That's not just imagination. That's truth. That's your compass. Don't let the world dull that light. Now, a lot of people ask me, Jim, how do I know I'm on the right path? And I say, it feels like joy. It feels like freedom. It feels like something inside you is expanding instead of shrinking. That doesn't mean it's always easy. Some of the hardest decisions I've made were the right ones. Walking away from roles that didn't align with my soul, saying no to projects that promised money but not meaning, choosing solitude over spotlights, letting go of relationships that didn't honor my growth. Growth is painful, but it's the only path to joy, the real kind. Not the plastic smile joy, the deep peace joy, the kind of joy that says, I like who I am. I like what I give. I like how I love. Let's talk about something else. Intention. You can do the exact same thing with two very different results, depending on your intention. You can give to impress, or you can give to uplift. You can speak to dominate, or to connect. You can chase success to prove something, or to create something. Intention is everything. When your actions align with your heart, you don't have to fake confidence. You don't have to hustle for worthiness. You walk into the room with a quiet knowing, I belong here because I showed up as me. Let me tell you something that surprised me in my own journey. The more I let go of trying to be somebody, the more I became everything. When I stopped chasing an identity, I found my soul. When I stopped performing, I began to truly live. And you know what? People responded. Not to the mask, but to the truth. That's what people are hungry for. Not polish, not perfection, but presence. Real presence. You want to change the world? Be present. Listen when someone speaks. Hug like you mean it. Say I love you and mean it. Show up when it's inconvenient. Create without waiting for applause. That's how we heal. One honest moment at a time. You have a gift. Not just a talent, a gift. Something that flows through you like a river when you stop trying to control it. Maybe it's art, or teaching, or building, or healing, or leading. But I promise you, there's something inside you that the world needs. Not in 5 years, not after you've made it, right now. So don't wait. Don't wait to live. Don't wait to be kind. Don't wait to start. There is no finish line where everything suddenly makes sense. There's only this moment, and this moment, and this one. Right now, someone out there needs exactly what only you can give. Not a version of you, not a filtered, perfect you. You, with your story, with your scars, with your laughter and your tears and your fire. The truth is, none of us get out of here alive. Life is a blink, a breath. So what will you do with your moment? Will you hide or will you shine?